Let's talk about non-stick cookware, specifically Teflon. So there's a lot of things that people grew up with that at first they seem to be totally safe, and then all of a sudden they're now this huge toxin. There's all sorts of toxins in Teflon, especially when you're heating it and breaking down certain elements in the lining of your pots and pans. There's 6 toxic gases that are emitted. 2 of them are global pollutants, and 1 is even lethal at low doses. So when there's a high amount of temperature, you get this degradation of this chemical, which is similar to a nerve gas. I'm not kidding. And so it can lead to liver damage, immune dysfunction, thyroid dysfunction, chronic kidney dysfunction, infertility, and the list goes on and on. But this is what I want to know. We've been using this for 70 years, and somewhat recently now it's a possible carcinogen. I mean, where were the studies 70 years ago? How did this get passed? So check this out. I'm going to read something to you. The chemical PFOA persists indefinitely in the environment. What does that mean? It means that it doesn't break down. It's there forever. PFOA has been detected in the blood of many individuals in the general US population in the low and subparts per billion range. And levels are higher in chemical plant employees and surrounding subpopulations. Though those concentrations have decreased by 70% between 1999 and 2014, which coincides with the end of the production and phase out of PFOA in the US. Now you're probably saying, wait a second, how can it be in every single person's blood? Well, check this out. The general population has been exposed to PFOA through massive dumping of C8 waste into the ocean and near the Ohio River Valley. So these chemicals tend to get into our environment, get into our food supply, and get into our bodies. So here's what you can do about it. The word is biotransformation. What is that? That is your body's ability to take these poisons and turn them into harmless particles through the liver. There are foods that you can be eating right now to help you break down these poisons and even plastics that are in your body. And you need to be consuming cruciferous vegetables on a regular basis, like the kale, the Brussels sprouts, the broccoli, the arugula, the radish. So if you are not familiar with those foods, I put a link down below. But cruciferous have the ability to decrease these poisons in your body. So it slowly gets rid of them without you feeling toxic, because it's almost impossible to avoid our toxic environment. You have to be doing things to constantly clean your body of these poisons. Let's talk about how to detoxify thousands of toxic chemicals out of your body, but do it in a way that's very safe. There are many chemicals in our environment. Bisphenol A, PCBs, heavy metals, certain toxic plastics, and biosolids. Have you ever heard of that before? Biosolids sound pretty benign, right? But what you may not realize is biosolids are treated sewage sludge. It's a very interesting book that I'm reading called Toxic Sludge is Good for You. This book is more about how certain groups use PR, public relations, to make something that is normally harmful to the environment and make it actually good for you. So in this book, they describe how they came up with this new term, biosolids, and actually redefined treated sewage sludge as a nutrient-rich organic byproduct. I'm not kidding. I mean, biosolids contain over 60,000 toxic substances. This is the stuff that exits your toilet and it goes right into a sewage treatment plant where they're processing this material and actually selling it as an ingredient in your pet food, in animal feeds, in fertilizer. There's at least 80,000, probably hundreds of thousands of different poisons or toxins, they call it xenobiotics, that we're exposed to on a daily basis. Now, our bodies have a defense mechanism for this. It is a series of detoxification pathways that will turn these poisons into harmless particles, which is then eliminated through our waste and urine. It's called bile transformation, where you have these very powerful enzymes. They're called cytochrome P450 enzymes that are meant to break down all these poisons and keep us healthy. So what I want to talk about is what you should be doing or eating to keep these toxins from causing disease. Here's a really interesting book. This is the International Agency of Research on Cancer by the World Health Organization, and it's all about cruciferous vegetables. And a really big effect is the ability of cruciferous vegetables to induce bile transformation. So this is one thing you should be consuming on a regular basis. Kale, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, arugula, bok choy. Now, bile salts. Your body makes bile. You can also take bile. This is very, very important. Anytime you do a detox, you should always start by taking bile salts for a few days and then do your detox, because taking purified bile salts helps to start the flow through the liver. Because when you start to detoxify and you start killing off certain pathogens, they release endotoxins that then shut down the bile ducts. And that's why you might feel toxic from detoxifying. So bile salts help you eliminate xenobiotics naturally. A lot of the chemicals from your liver should be coming out with the help of bile. Also, the microbes in your gut help you detoxify, and they also have the ability to make this enzyme to help you break down these poisons. And one of the things I really recommend is to combine this with this. So if you were to take a prebiotic, which is like a fiber, let's say cabbage, and we ferment it into sauerkraut, cabbage is not just cruciferous, but it's a prebiotic and a probiotic. So sauerkraut is a great food to help you detoxify. And the cool thing about doing this with food is it happens slowly, so you don't really feel it. Now, there's many other different vegetables and herbs that will help you detoxify. Garlic is a big one. Rosemary, thyme, and clove all have this enzyme. Another thing to realize is a lot of these chemicals create a lot of free radical damage in the body. And the foods that you eat have antioxidants, but your body also makes antioxidants. It's called endogenous antioxidants, especially when you fast. When you're doing fasting, you're putting your body in the state of autophagy, which not only accelerates repairing the damage in the body, but also the clearing out of pathogens. But fasting will help increase your endogenous antioxidant networks. So you'll have a lot more antioxidants, not to mention your immune system is stronger, and the body will resist the stress from the free radical damage. If you're doing organic foods, okay, certified organic foods, it's not going to have these in them. I would also make sure when you buy pet food that you read the ingredients and make sure it does not have these byproducts, because if you're going to look at these nutrient-rich organic byproducts, it sounds like it's really, really healthy, but it's not. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.